Welcome back, everybody, to Mini Metro. We were kind of embarrassingly bad, I would say, last time. We did the Chicago map a couple of times. Neither time did we do very well, in my opinion. I mean, if we look at the... Well, actually, that's the challenges. That is totally not what I meant to click. I meant to click this for the leaderboard, and it takes usually a moment just to load up in the background, so we'll give it some time. Obviously, there are going to be some people that are really min-maxing it. Well, apparently, it's just not going to load at all. It's not usually this slow. I guess I did so poorly last time on this map that the game doesn't even want to show me. Maybe it doesn't want me to make me feel bad. That's okay. We'll exit out then, and we'll just try this map again. It is fun, though. Like, this is one of those games where it's kind of fun even if you fail, so don't worry. I'm not sad about it. I'm just amazed at how poorly it went last time more than anything else. Neither time did we even get to 700 passengers, and that feels pretty dismal. So we're going to try again. But it does seem to be following a pattern just from the couple of games that we've played and from the start of this one. It does appear that this map has almost all of the circles of the residential space to the left of the map, and then the vast majority of the squares form on the right-hand side of the map, and that is what is causing most of the problems that we're having. I'm sure me not doing this in a particularly optimal way is also causing some of the issue. But alas, we're going to have another go at it. It's fun. Well, I'm not going to say it's relaxing. That would be a lie. I guess it's meant to be relaxing. I don't think it... Well, the music's relaxing anyway. That's very soothing. But yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I'm not upset. Nobody should be. It's a game. If you're upset while you're playing a game, you should probably stop playing that game. Week 2. I'm just going to take a carriage just so I have it as a backup just in case I need it. And I guess we might as well utilize the fact that we do have 2 spare trains. I'm just going to put it on the red line for now because I can see it interconnecting with something down here when it spawns, so I'm just going to put that in ahead of time. But yes, so far, this is somewhat following the pattern of what I've seen. That's not perfect. Actually, we may have ended up wanting to put the second carriage actually on the orange line. I'm just going to put it there. You don't have to worry in this situation which direction it's traveling because it's not a loop, right? So they're always going to go the same direction. Although having said that, the loop does have both going the same way. Probably shouldn't have that being the case, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal right now anyway. Probably won't be saying that in a little bit when everything, like I said, is on fire, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And that's something for future Daniel to worry about. And like I mentioned last time, this is where the problems start because the squares just insist on showing up on the right-hand side. And I'm not sure if it's just something coded into this level or what, but the game seems to just refuse to create bridges for some reason. This is going to suck. There's really no other way of describing it. I guess we're going to have to do that for now. And then, I don't know, we still got a bridge, so I guess I'm just going to connect this up like that, just so we have some type of interconnectivity. It's definitely not perfect, but at least that way every line is connected to a square, which I think is going to be where the major issues are, at least for the first few weeks of the game. We are getting a worryingly long orange line, though, and again, we've got no bridges, and the game is still not supplying a bridge to us. I'm going to take another carriage so I have a spare. I'm probably going to just put one of those on the orange line already. Like that. I missed. There we go. Circle. You're just going to go on the yellow line because the yellow line's not very busy. So yes, we are seeing a pretty similar pattern to last time. Squares on the right, triangles kind of in the middle, unique shape. We're going to have you on the yellow line for now. And if that starts to get busy, we'll put a second train on there. Actually, we're going to put a carriage on this one because I can see the square is going to get potentially quite full. And just in case yellow line ends up being lumped with it, we want to be prepared. This is already a problem. I can kind of see the car crash coming already, so I'm just going to put this locomotive down, have it going the other way, have the double-sized deal with the big busy station, and actually slow it down a bit so they spread out. So we've got 3 locomotives on the orange line already. Red line has 4 circles in a row, which isn't particularly great. Yeah, we could have things going better, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just cursed on this map. We have bridges. Thank goodness we have bridges. I have no idea how it chooses which of the features you get, by the way. I don't know if that's set in stone or there's a certain weighting. I don't know. This is where only having the 3 lines that we decided to do, though, is a little bit problematic. But we're just going to burn all 3 lines that we currently have, and we're going to rebuild, because now we don't have to do lines, we can do loops. So the pentagon line has to be fairly streamlined. It doesn't have to be completely devoid of activity, but it can't be too busy, because otherwise it will not have enough momentum to actually get things to this unique stop. I think that's all right for a length of a line. Meanwhile, where do we want this to connect? I guess we're going to have it connect up. We don't really want to connect it at a circle because we already have a load of circles. But the problem is connecting at this square is going to be difficult because I think we'll run out of bridges. So let's do the second line down here first, and then we'll work that out afterwards. And we're going to have it connect at this triangle. So it'll be triangle, square, circle, 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 triangle. But then if that's a loop that's going to use at my final bridge, I guess we don't really have a choice on that front. So we'll have that connect at the square as well. I guess just as a couple of different stops. So if we have a locomotive going in opposite directions on the orange line, it doesn't dump everything at the same stop if it needs to go to pentagon, for example. It does mean the yellow line is going to be pretty big and pretty gross. There's not a huge amount we can really do about it, though. Really, the question is where we're going to connect it. And unfortunately, we're going to have to just connect it like at a circle, I guess. Do something like that for now. Again, it's still not perfect. And we're going to have to rebalance where all these spare locomotives are. So we're going to do that. We intentionally don't have this connected to yellow, by the way. I did notice this time, I promise. We're going to have that locomotive go this way. We're going to have a carriage on that. Going to probably put a carriage probably on this line. Oh, well, let's just pause because apparently I can't even click it. Yeah, we're definitely going to put a carriage on. Well, we'll put it on this one. And then I'm hoping we can keep that locomotive spare just so we can kind of put it down when things really, really get busy. Triangle. It's not too bad. I'm actually going to have orange collect that. Again, we want to keep the red line. It doesn't have to be, it's not an express line, it just has to be quick enough because it has the 2 unique shapes on it to get things over to them before it all explodes. But I can already tell you the problem we're going to have, it's already happening. All the squares from the yellow line only have one place to get dumped. And it's not perfect. That is an understatement, probably. It's definitely not perfect. But actually going to put down our spare locomotive, that's a disaster. We'll put down a spare locomotive just so that we have a way of dealing with that, so we can get to the square station that's 2 stops away as quickly as it can. But when we get to the next week, we're definitely going to want to put another locomotive on the yellow line. The problem is having another line really isn't that helpful for it, because it doesn't have anywhere to dump them. So I'm tempted just to take another carriage. If there was any other shape over here, that would be fine, but there isn't. So just having another line is just not beneficial. We are going to put that. Which way around is that locomotive going? I'm going to go that way then. Like that. And yes, it's even more frustrating. There's another circle down here. But that's just what we're going to have to do. I'm even going to put the carriage on it straight away too. We have no reserve. But the yellow line is just going to get inundated. And as a result, the 3rd unique symbol's up here as well. All the unique shapes are in the same corner, which actually isn't that bad. The problem really is all of the circle stations on the left. And at least in this map, we have a couple of triangles out here as well, so some of the service gets dealt with, but it's not great. I mean, the only thing that could have been worse is if we'd had all of the unique shapes, like the pentagon, the upside down cone, and the plus, if they'd all ended up out there with the circles and no squares, we'd just have the exact same issue, right? But we can see that this station just gets swamped. I'm actually going to put this circle in the line. It'll slow yellow down a bit, but it'll stop them from dumping absolutely everything in the same place. And that's just incredibly rude. That's going to slow this line down so much for one stop. And we might just kind of lose immediately anyway here. Spare locomotive. This is where a line actually is going to be helpful, because we're just not going to deal with that nonsense. So, yellow line, we still have no bridges, which is awful, like really bad. But we can at least do this, like that, like that. Maybe we'll connect up. We'll connect up with orange, maybe, just to try and slow some of this down, and then go back to yellow, and then we can just have a separate line here, like that. We're still going to have to connect this up, though. I don't really want to connect it just to yellow, because then that's just pushing traffic around the loop that has no other stations. So we're going to have to connect it like that, I guess. This is still a horror show of a line, but it's a little bit better, I guess. And we have fires and fires and fires. That's about to go there, so you're going to get one of those. You're going to go, which way is the east going? It's going that way, so we'll do that and that. We're still only in the 600s, so really we're not doing a huge amount better, really, at all compared to before. Orange line is just getting absolutely stormed, and I have absolutely nothing to help them do it. And I think we're just going to lose again in the 600s. Something about the 600s on this map, I just can't get any further than it. Yeah, there we go. 694, I think we got to. We're going to have one more go, because at this point, it's starting to feel like I'm intentionally playing a map I'm terrible at. It's not true. It just happens to be that way. we're just having a time. This must just be a more difficult layout, or there's some hidden technique to town planning of metro systems I don't know. Obviously, if you know or think you know, throw it in the comments. But we're going to have another go. We're only like 13 minutes in. We're going to have one more go at this before I raise the white flag and just say I do not have the skills. Don't have the skills. I don't have the package for this. But yeah, we can already see from the start here that square on the right again, circle on the left. It must just be the way this map is done. Like, it has to be at this point. And it would make sense. Like, all the residential areas are going to be kind of away from the river in a more secluded location, and then you've got all the business and industry kind of further towards the right. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but it kind of feels that way. Just going to put a line out there just for now. And we're already out of bridges. I guess the Chicago, system just needs more bridges. That's all we need. No, that's really all there is to it. It's 7.8 out of 10. Too much water, not enough bridges. I guess at this point, I'm just going to redo this immediately because I already don't like how this is going. So we're going to do that, like that, I guess, and then we'll just have a third line that doesn't technically have a locomotive on it straight away. There we go. And that will do. So yeah, so we're already starting to fall into the exact same trap we did last time, right? Where all the circles are on the left. We get a line that gets way overextended and then just ends up with a giant location in the middle that just ends up just incapable of getting the main stations kind of dug out in time. Because yeah, that red line's already got a completely full location. We're just going to take bridges immediately, and for the second time in about 3 in-game days, we're going to redo our system. So this time, we're going to do a slightly weird looking interconnection here. So that's going to be loop number 1. It's still fairly long, but it's not quite so bad. We're going to do loop number 2. We're actually going to have a double connection there just to make sure we don't end up with this getting swamped. And then we have our third line that is legitimately just going to be square, oh, there's no bridges. We're already out of bridges. That's amazing. I guess we're going to keep it to 2 lines for now then. Unless, no, I'm not happy with this. I don't like where this is going. Yes, I know that station's already busy. This is just what happens when you don't like, when you just do not like the layout. We're just going to do one small loop like this then, I guess. Have everything come from the triangle. We're just going to have one very basic loop like that. And then have like that, I guess, is what we're going to do for now. I'm going to keep those bridges spare. There we go. Keep the bridges spare for now, I guess. Actually, what we're going to do, we're going to do this and just have it connect up in a couple of different locations. I still think the red line is going to have problems. So we're going to put the spare locomotive down there for now. But I feel like this is a little bit better. The orange line in the middle only has 4 stops. We're going to try and not add too many stops to that. I don't want it to be much higher than 4, because it's going to be our busy station in the middle. So we're going to have that go up, and then we're going to actually have this loop around, I guess. I'm tempted, yeah, we're going to put that on there. Is that just one giant? There we go. I guess it was connected the whole time, it just didn't look that way. And we'll know for sure because it's going to be dropping off circles. It did. Okay. Do that. The square up there is, I mean, not too bad. I mean, I'd still rather it on the left-hand side of the map, but at least it's on the other side of the river to where the other square is, I guess, right? I mean, we're really clutching at straws for positivity here. We're already up to 100 passengers, and I already feel like we're still not doing great. And I really don't want to add that to orange line, so I guess we're going to put it on yellow line. And then possibly stop having this being connected. I'm not really sure what the quickest path here is, so I'm just going to do that, I guess. There we go, that looks better. Week 3, locomotive. I'm just going to make it an interchange, and I'm just going to bank it for now. I don't feel like the line would have given us a huge amount of value just because of the lack of shape diversity right now. Triangle, are you beneficial to us on either line? I think you'd be slightly more beneficial on the red line. It is going to make the red line obviously even busier. But at least now the circle in the middle, if it wants a triangle, it doesn't actually matter which of the 2 locomotives it gets on. It's the same distance either way. That sucks though. So we're going to do that, and then we're just going to put another locomotive on the red line just to make sure it doesn't get bogged up, because it's invariably going to be the line that has the biggest issues, and if it doesn't, the problem then is it's going to dump everything on the orange line to deal with. We're just going to have to do that for now. It doesn't need another bridge at the very least. Being out of bridges again kind of limits what I wish, and I think that's part of the issue with this map, is that because you end up with so few bridges, you don't really have a lot of creative options for making a line. We're going to put that here. I know we don't want to make too many stops on our orange line, but we are going to get the Pentagon involved, purely because, well, that way the yellow and the red can interconnect with it, and I think that'll be perfectly fine. I am going to put the carriage on that line, though. No, that's an interchange. I don't have a carriage. I decided to go for an interchange, didn't I? I guess we'll put it where the problem zone here is straight off the bat then. But our orange line is way too long just to have one carriage and one locomotive on it. I mean, that's blatantly apparent. So we're going to have to deal with that problem as soon as the new week starts. Oh, speaking of which, you'd think I would just pick bridges and it'd be a no-brainer given how much complaining I've been doing that we haven't got any bridges. But I'm actually not convinced, and I'm wondering if we actually do need a line. No, I'm going to take bridges. I don't think we'll be using them necessarily straight away, but I do think they are going to be the most useful. And then we're just going to get, like I said, a second locomotive on the orange line because it is a bit more bloated than I really wish it was. But it's all we've got right now. And the yellow line, honestly, is way too long to have just one single carriage locomotive on it as well. But we're just going to have to deal for now. We can't deal with every problem at once. We're just going to do one step at a time. And yeah, the orange line is still getting pretty busy. Not too bad. This is really bad, though, because I don't want your line getting any bigger, so I guess we're going to get the red line over there. Thank goodness I picked up bridges, I guess, because I burned both bridges just to get to one location. And I guess you might as well cover that as well. Because like I said, the yellow line is just way too busy. Actually, if we're going to do this, we're being stupid. We should connect to square in as well. Yes, it's going to make this route absolutely ludicrously long, but that should reduce some of the strain on the yellow line because the orange line isn't going to be dumping things on it as well from that direction. And now I'm starting to wonder if we really should have taken the other line, another line. I don't really want to do that, but it's the only way we're going to, potentially stop this just immediately failing. Is to have orange take on that station. Why are they not picking anything up? I'm not even sure. Why aren't you picking things up? That's an empty train. Locomotive, carriage, pause immediately. Get that on this way, please. Like that. I'm even going to throw the carriage. I'm going to throw the carriage. Am I going to throw it on that one? Yeah, I guess I might as well, because it's already full. But we really need them to get back around to this triangle before we just lose. I'm just going to pick it up straight away. Not an efficient way of doing this, but it's either do that or immediately lose. So, and I know there's symbols in the top left corner here. I don't even know how we're going to deal with that. That's just thinking. We're going to have to make this most ridiculous line. This is so bad. So this map, we ended up with enough bridges. Why are you not even connected? We ended up with enough bridges, but not enough lines. So we got this absolute monstrosity of a line where, like, if you were to show this to a town planner, they're probably just going to cry in their sleep. And I wouldn't blame them for doing so. This is absolutely horrendous looking. And I think we're about to lose again. Like, why are we so incredibly bad at this? I did not mean to touch the line. Like that. No, like... Oh boy, guys, we are having a shocker. It won't even let me go there. We're going to lose again. Okay. I know I said last time where it's going to be one more time. This is going to be the one more time. And I promise, after this, I will end the video. And if we do terribly again, I'm just going to forget we even dealt with this and maybe go and have a shower, make a cup of tea, think about all the things I did wrong. Because we are having a shocker. Well, it's still fun. But needless to say, I won't be uploading this with my resume or my CV if I was applying at my local city's planning office. That being said, I live in a location where not only do we not have a metro line, we don't even have trains. Like, there are no trains here. There used to be, but there haven't been trains here for a long time. Before I first moved here, anyway. So we only have 3 bridges, so we're not even going to bother doing loops here for now. Just going to do that. Yep, there are no trains here. There are buses. No, I don't live back in, 1938 or anything like that. Just live in a very, very quiet, very quiet location out in the countryside. Guess we'll do that for now. It's actually a really nice place to be, but it's not for everybody. It's not exactly hustling and bustling location. But yes, so so hopefully this is going to be our swan song when it comes to the Chicago map. We can't really be doing much worse though, can we? Week 2. Gonna take bridges immediately just so we have them in supply. I'm not actually going to edit anything for now though. I do like loops, but loops are not the be all and end all of everything to do with this design. Well, at least I don't think so. I'm just going to do that for now, so again I can keep 2 bridges spare. So far we're okay. I'd just like to be able to break into the 700s, I think. I don't want to be too greedy, but if I can get into the 700s, I think I'll be a happy camper. Not sure if we'll be able to do it or not, but one can dream. One can most certainly dream. Although you got to wonder if you're one of these shape people from Chicago and you happen to be riding these, you got to be wondering what on earth is wrong with these guys, right? Going to slightly modify the shape of this, I think. So we're going to have go to there and then the square, and then I guess this loop can become a loop, and then we'll throw our spare locomotive on the orange line because it's going to be the biggest. So I think for now that's okay. We're not leaving anything spare, but so far so good. Admittedly, we've only had 123 passengers right now, right? So we're not exactly deep into this. It's offering us bridges again. I don't know if the game just heard that I was sad about the bridge issue from the last episode, and now it's just going to throw me bridges on every single opportunity that it gives me. I am going to take them, I'm just not going to use them straight away again. I think is the way to go. Keep them in reserve. Although, having said that, the keep it in reserve strategy has not exactly worked for me thus far. And maybe the game decided that I made the wrong decision and put the American football stadium actually all the way on the left, on the west hand, the west side. And he said west hand side. That doesn't make sense. The West Ham side, maybe, if you're an actual football. But yeah, this is clearly not a very optimized shape, and I'm tempted to just put the spare locomotive again down over here just so we can get the ball rolling. Yeah, we're going to. Ball rolling. Talk about football stadium. I don't think that's very funny. Unintentional joke, but yes, we're going to put the extra locomotive on the yellow line because it's very clearly going to get very busy. We're into the 200s, and it already looks like a mess. I guess your line's going to take that too. If we get an option for a line next week, we're clearly going to have to take it. I think that is very, very obvious that that'll be the thing we have to take. But not too bad. The traffic's not too bad right now. That circle still being up there is unfortunate. Yeah, we're going to take the line, and we're going to think about how we want to do this. So again, I'm thinking we have just kind of like a express style line. So I'm thinking we'll have this go to the football at the end, and then we'll have just an express line where it goes, we'll take a circle, a football, a circle. We do have a couple of bridges, so we do have that going for us. Beyond that though, hey kitty. Sorry, you've got kitty disturbance in the background there. The joys of pet ownership. There we go. It's scratching at my wall, and we definitely don't want that. It's a shame I don't have my camera on for these videos, and you could see him, but alas, I said the joy of cats. There we go. Got him away from that. Yeah, it's what happens when you work out of your basement, right? You end up with all your kitty supervisors. What can you do? All right, so we were making an express line. So we can use bridges, that'll be fine. So we're going to go triangle, square, and then we're not even going to connect there. No, we're not going to connect there. I didn't even mean to intentionally do it before. There we go. So it's just got 2 circles, a triangle, a square, and the American football stadium on it, just so we can try and run as quickly as we can, just while dealing with a little bit of overflow from a couple of different places. Does mean that yellow's going to have to take on that triangle, though, which is, again, not ideal. But what can we do? At least it's pretty with these 4 colors. A couple of the other maps, and it's because of realism, right? Because the cities, they have their metro, tram, or train station lines based on the actual colors on the maps from the locations. Some of them are pretty aesthetically unpleasing, but Chicago's is not one of them at the very least. Having a square up there is absolutely a-okay. We're just going to do this because we don't need to be connected to multiple squares on the red line. I think that's perfectly all right as it happens. So we're nearly at 400. There's another unique shape where, well, I say unique shape, square on its side. I'm just going to call it the diamond symbol, even though there is a diamond symbol and it's not that. The yellow line is really the only line I think that's having any major difficulties, and it's going to have more difficulties now because it's clearly going to have to cover that. Like that, which is awful. So yeah, when we get to the next week, the locomotive is clearly going to have to go on the yellow line. Speaking of which, do we want another line? Is that beneficial? I mean, I don't think it's too bad. I guess we're just going to take another line, and then what we're going to do then, we don't need another express line, really. The problem we have again, though, is that all the squares are on the right-hand side of the river. So connecting to it is really, really awkward. So I guess what we're going to do then is we're going to have the yellow line. Oops, I did not mean to totally unlock that. Yellow line, you're going to get toasted. And then what we're going to do is connect the square up like this. I'm wondering if we want to connect the American football line up here too. Something like that. It's still not great. It's still covering way too much space, right? Okay, so I actually don't really like that very much at all. I mean, what's the point in getting the new line if you're just going to basically go the exact same space? So I guess what we're going to do then is this, like that, and help the red line out a little bit. That does mean there's another square here, by the way, as a result. As a consequence, then, we're going to have this go back to here. I don't want red to be connected to that square anymore, because red is going to be connected. We don't have enough bridges. That's actually majorly inconvenient. And I can't believe that despite the fact the game was throwing bridges at me earlier on, and I took it every time, even if I didn't think it was a particularly great idea, we're somehow out of bridges again. So I guess we're going to have this go back and cover the square. I don't want it to, but, you know, needs must. And then I guess what it means on that front is we're going to have to do just a line like this. It's only going to have one train on it, obviously. And we're going to have to help. We're going to have to get the yellow line in there for some help. But at least it means that blue line is just going to throw everything off to the football symbol. And then hopefully, as green's going to come around with all the priority American football passengers, that it's then going to be empty and have enough time to then pick up everything that blue's dropping off and then keep going. That's the hope, anyway. We're getting close to 500, and we haven't had any stations really hit the fan yet. It's been busy, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't been absolutely ludicrous. I really don't want green to have to take that, so I'm just going to have blue do it. Because like I said, green has to be quick. Green has to be able to get from place to place. The problem is, as you've noticed, I haven't actually spoken about it yet. When lines interact with one another, they slow, so it makes it less efficient. But the whole thing about green is green has to be able to race across the city from place to place. And if it gets slowed down too much, then it's not serving its purpose, right, of getting the unique shapes around the map. And if it doesn't do that, then it might as well not be there. We are getting up to 600 though, and I don't think we're doing as badly as we did the last few times. I think we're making progress. Another locomotive. We don't have enough locomotives to make another line work at this point, so we're going to get an interchange and just kind of keep it to see where the fires happen. The express line for green is starting to struggle. So I'm just going to have to put another line on, another locomotive on it. Red has just got a unique shape. It's got the hospital on it. But it interconnects with orange and yellow, so I don't actually think that's that bad. It is very tempting to have red connect with green at, say, like the triangle as well, but we're fine for now. Blue's just going to have to eat that as well, I guess, for the time being. But yeah, the green line desperately needs another couple of probably another couple of locomotives on it, and blue's going to need to have a second one at this rate too, because for what was just going to be a nice quiet line on the side, it's very much not become that. The interchange definitely needs to go on the American football, though. That's very obvious. Well, we're in the 700s, guys, so I don't know if it's just persistence or just what, but we're getting there. Red has another unique symbol on it. Does yellow actually hook up to it? It does. I just want to make 100% sure. So we do have some unique symbols all over the shop. Green just desperately well, actually, maybe not even more locomotive. It just needs more carriage space, I think. And blue needs both. When we get to next week, blue is definitely going to have to be a line that gets some help. Red is struggling now as well. Yellow's going to have to take that triangle because red is already being overwhelmed. We're into the 800s, guys. I don't know how, but we've made it there. Carriage, perfect. Locomotive, go, go, go. The carriage is going to go on the green line. Although you could argue that the red line desperately needs it as well. I think it's all going to fall apart very, very soon here. But we made it a lot further than I thought we were going to. I'm going to put that there and see if we can last minute save that. There we go. Yellow's going to have to take that. Okay, so we did delay the inevitable slightly, but blue in the top left is just doomed as well. And I can't even have this come over, because if it does, it's just going to instantly lose everything. Is there any way of anything else being salvageable? I guess we're going to have to put this here and see if that's doable or not. Yellow, go there. I think we're about to lose. Are we about to lose? We lost. But we did get, actually, we got to over 900, not 9,000. Terrible old internet Dragon Ball Z reference. I feel old now for having even mentioned it. Anyway, we got 44 days in, and it shows you the difference, because when we got to 35 days in, or was it 37, we were only in the 600s. It really snowballs very, very quickly, so you can really start scoring very quickly towards the end. I still don't think that's a very good score, but I'm going to pretend it is. And, well, frankly, compared to everything else that we've done, that's actually not bad. I'll take it. We probably won't do more Chicago-based videos. Sorry, Chicago, but apparently I just don't know how to run your city, or at least not from Metro perspective. Anyway, we get to end on a positive note. So if you did enjoy the video and you want to throw a like or subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get to see you around down the line. Maybe we'll do more of this. Or if you want to, change stations and go do a different game, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Anyway, again, appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care now. Thank you for watching the video.